What your dog's puke is really trying to tell you. Gross, I know. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. And today, oh boy, today we're going on an adventure. A slightly disgusting, potentially alarming, but ultimately super important adventure into the world of dog vomit. Yeah, I said it. Puke, barf, upchuck, whatever you want to call it. If you have a dog, you've probably cleaned it up more times than you can count. Probably at 3 a.m., probably while wearing your nice socks. I know I have. It's like a rite of passage for dog parents, right? You're not truly initiated until you've skidded in a surprise puddle of something questionable. Today we're diving into a topic that every dog owner should know about, the different types of dog vomit and when you should see a vet. Because let's be real, sometimes it's just like, oops, ate my breakfast too fast, my bad, and other times it's like, red alert, human, this is not a drill. And trying to figure out the difference when you're half asleep and staring at a Technicolor mess on your carpet can be a lot. So I'm here to try and make it a little less confusing, a little less scary, and hopefully help you know when to chill and when to make that vet call. We're gonna break down the common colors and consistencies. It's like a really gross rainbow, honestly. We'll talk about what they might mean because, disclaimer, I am not a vet. I am a professional dog enthusiast and a seasoned vomit cleanup veteran. But your vet is your #1 resource. This is just to give you some general ideas, some things to look out for so you can be the best, most informed dog parent possible. So grab a strong stomach, maybe a paper towel just in case, and let's get into the nitty-gritty of doggy barf. It's gonna be educational. The yellow peril, is bile a big deal? Alright, first up on our vomit rainbow tour is the infamous yellow bile. Oh, yellow bile, my old friend. If you've ever had a dog who throws up on an empty stomach, especially first thing in the morning before breakfast, you've probably seen this. It's usually a foamy, liquidy, bright yellow, or sometimes greenish yellow substance. And you're like, what is that? Did my dog eat a highlighter? No, probably not. That yellow color is typically bile, which is a digestive fluid produced in the liver and stored in the gallbladder. Its job is to help break down fats, but when the stomach is empty for too long, bile can irritate the stomach lining, and then, splat. Breakfast for your floor. So, is this a 5-alarm fire? Usually no. If it happens occasionally, like your dog missed a meal or you were a bit late with their breakfast, it's often just what we call empty tummy syndrome or bilious vomiting syndrome. It's like their stomach is saying, hey, where's the food? I'm angry and I'm gonna make a scene. Little drama queen stomachs, aren't they? You might notice it more if your dog only eats once a day, or if they're a grazer who sometimes skips meals. It's pretty common, and often just adjusting their feeding schedule, like giving a small snack before bed or splitting meals into smaller, more frequent portions, can help solve the problem. However, and this is a big however, if your dog is throwing up yellow bile frequently, like multiple times a week, or if it's accompanied by other symptoms like lethargy, not eating, diarrhea, or weight loss, then it's definitely time to chat with your vet. While occasional yellow bile is often no biggie, persistent vomiting, even if it's just bile, can be a sign of underlying issues. It could be something like pancreatitis, inflammatory bowel disease, or even intestinal blockages. So, one-off yellow puddle? Probably fine. A recurring yellow river? Get it checked out just to be safe. Better safe than sorry when it comes to our furry little weirdos. White foam, fright, spit, or serious? Okay, next on our list of things I never thought I'd discuss in such detail is white foamy vomit. This one can look a little alarming, like your dog is auditioning for a rabid animal role in a horror movie, or maybe they just got into the bubble bath. It's often just a small amount of white, frothy liquid, sometimes looking like beaten egg whites. And you're standing there, coffee in hand, thinking, is this spit? Did my dog just cough so hard they spat up some foam? What is happening? It can be a bit confusing because it doesn't always look like typical vomit with food particles in it. Sometimes white foam is similar to yellow bile, in that it can be caused by an empty stomach and acid buildup. The stomach lining gets irritated, there's nothing in there to buffer it, and boom, foamy offering. It can also happen if your dog has been coughing a lot, like with kennel cough, and they cough so hard they gag and bring up some mucus and saliva that looks foamy. Or maybe they just drank a ton of water really fast on an empty stomach, and their tummy was like, whoa, too much too soon, buddy, and sent some of it back up, looking a bit frothy. These instances are usually not super concerning if they're isolated. But, and this is a very important but, white foamy vomit can also be a sign of some pretty serious, scary stuff. The big one everyone worries about is bloat, or gastric dilatation volvulus, GDV. This is a life-threatening emergency where the stomach fills with gas and can twist. Dogs with bloat will often try to vomit but can't bring much up, maybe just some white foam, and they'll be restless, panting, and their abdomen might look swollen. If you see white foam along with these signs, especially in a deep-chested breed, get to an emergency vet immediately. Don't wait. Other serious issues like pancreatitis or ingesting toxins can also cause white foamy vomit. So if it's more than a one-time tiny bit of foam, or if your dog seems unwell in any other way, vet ASAP. Ah yes, the "I literally just ate that and now it's on the floor looking exactly the same" special. This is when your dog vomits up undigested or only partially digested food. It often happens pretty soon after they've eaten, sometimes within minutes, sometimes an hour or two later. And you look at it and you can still identify the individual kibble pieces or chunks of whatever they just wolfed down. It's like they just rented the food. They didn't really own it, you know? It's a bit of a "why even bother eating it, dude?" moment. My dog Marbles, bless his speedy eating heart, was a champion of this. He'd inhale his food and then, 5 minutes later, present it back to me, slightly slimier. One of the most common reasons for this lovely phenomenon is simply eating too fast. Some dogs, especially if they're in a multi-dog household or just really love food, will bolt their meals down like it's their last. Their stomach gets overwhelmed, can't process that much food that quickly, and just sends it back up the way it came. It's more like regurgitation than true vomiting in some cases. Less abdominal effort, more of a blurp. There it is. If this is your dog, a slow feeder bowl can be a game changer. Seriously, those puzzle bowls that make them work for their food, lifesavers. Or, spreading their food out on a cookie sheet. However, while eating too fast is a frequent culprit, undigested food and vomit can also point to other issues. It could be a food intolerance or allergy, where their body is just rejecting something in the ingredients. It might also indicate a problem with their digestive system's ability to actually break down food, like issues with enzyme production or motility problems where the food isn't moving through the digestive tract properly. Sometimes, if they've eaten something they shouldn't have, like a toy or a sock, classic dog move, their body will try to expel it, and you might see undigested food come up with it. So if it's a regular thing, even with a slow feeder, or if there are other symptoms like diarrhea or weight loss, it's vet time to investigate further. Okay team, we need to have a serious chat now. All the other stuff, yellow bile, white foam, undigested food, there are scenarios where it's not a huge emergency. But this one is different. We're talking about blood in the vomit. And when I say blood, I mean anything from bright red, fresh-looking blood to darker, coffee ground-like material, which is digested blood. If you see this, any amount, any shade, it is an immediate stop everything and call the vet situation. There is no wait and see with bloody vomit. This is not a drill, people. This is a potential emergency. Bright red blood and vomit usually means there's bleeding happening somewhere in the upper part of the digestive system, like the esophagus, stomach, or upper small intestine. And it's happening or very recently. It could be from an ulcer, from swallowing a sharp object that has caused a cut or perforation, like a bone splinter or part of a chewed-up toy. Severe inflammation, or even certain types of poisoning, like rat poison, which can cause internal bleeding. It could also be from severe, prolonged vomiting of any cause, where the force of retching actually damages the lining of the esophagus or stomach. It's a big, scary red flag. Dark, coffee ground-like vomit means the blood has been sitting in the stomach for a while and has been partially digested by stomach acids. This still indicates bleeding in the GI tract, but it might be a bit slower or have been happening for a bit longer. Regardless of whether it's bright red or looks like old coffee grounds, it's serious. Your vet needs to see your dog right away to figure out where the bleeding is coming from and why. They'll likely need to run tests, maybe do imaging like x-rays or an ultrasound. Do not mess around with this one. Don't try to self-diagnose. Don't Google remedies. Just get your dog to professional medical help. Your dog's life could literally depend on it. And finally, let's talk about grass. The doggy salad bar that often makes a reappearance on your living room rug. Why, oh why do dogs eat grass? Are they channeling their inner cow? Are they trying to tell us they need more fiber? Are they just weirdos? The answer is probably a little bit of all of the above, to be honest. It's a super common behavior, and many dogs will munch on grass and then shortly after, vomit it back up, often encased in a bit of mucus or bile. It's like they're intentionally trying to make themselves sick, which sounds counterintuitive, but there might be a reason. One popular theory is that dogs eat grass to intentionally induce vomiting when they feel nauseous or have an upset stomach. It's like they know something isn't right in their tummy, maybe they ate something that disagreed with them, or they just feel a bit off, and the grass acts as an irritant to help them clear out their system. The long blades of grass can tickle their throat and stomach lining, triggering the vomit reflex. So, in this sense, it can be a self-medicating behavior. They feel bad, they eat grass, they puke, and sometimes they seem to feel better afterwards. Clever in a slightly gross, dog logic kind of way. However, not all grass eating leads to vomiting, and sometimes dogs just seem to like the taste or texture of grass. Some dogs will graze quite happily without ever throwing up. But if your dog is eating grass frequently and vomiting frequently as a result, it's worth a vet visit. While occasional grass eating and subsequent barfing might just be them dealing with a minor tummy upset, if it's happening all the time, it could indicate a more chronic underlying issue. Maybe they have a nutritional deficiency or persistent gastrointestinal discomfort from something like inflammatory bowel disease or even parasites. So, if your dog's lawn munching habit seems excessive or is always followed by a puke fest, let your vet know. They can help rule out any more serious reasons for why your dog is constantly seeking out that green stuff. Phew! We made it through the Technicolor tapestry of dog vomit. I know, it's not the most glamorous topic. Probably not what you want to discuss over dinner, but hey, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to our furry best friends who can't just tell us what's wrong. Hopefully, this little dive into the delightful world of dog puke has given you a better idea of what to look for and when to be like, okay, this is fine, versus holy moly vet now. It's all about being observant and knowing your dog's normal. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, even if it was a little bit gross, okay, a lot gross, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more super important, sometimes weird but always loving content about our amazing animal companions. And if you have any dog vomit stories, because I know you do, share them in the comments below. Let's commiserate and learn from each other because we're all in this slightly sticky, often smelly dog parenting journey together. And remember, when in doubt, always consult your vet. Seriously, they are the experts. This video is for informational purposes to give you a starting point, but your veterinarian knows your dog's specific health history and is the best person to diagnose and treat any issues. So keep an eye on those puddles, trust your gut, and give your dog an extra hug from me. Stay safe, stay informed, and may your carpets remain puke-free. Bye, guys.